Before the words even left her lips, I felt the first prick of unease. She stood in the middle of our living room, perfectly poised, the dim light from the kitchen casting long shadows across her face. "I think we should break up," she said, voice almost melodic, like a rehearsed line from a play. I blinked, stunned. My chest tightened, not in anger, not yet, but in that strange, hollow ache that precedes disbelief. I forced a smile. "Perfect," I said. "Let's do it." It sounded absurd even as I said it. Perfect? Perfect for what? The word felt like molten glass in my mouth. She tilted her head, a faint smile twitching at the corners, as if she had been waiting for this moment, scripting it, rehearsing it down to every inflection. My pulse thudded painfully. My mind raced. Something in the way she said it, so calm, so controlled, made my stomach churn. I remember the little things from that morning. The way her perfume clung to the edge of my coat. The way her fingers lingered on the keys of the piano when she passed through the hallway. Innocent details, I thought, until shadows fell differently on them, twisting into evidence. She had always been careful with words, with gestures. Every smile calculated. Every laugh timed. I watched her move to the couch, folding herself like origami, waiting for my response. I sat opposite her, arms crossed. My mind wanted to riot. Anger, grief, denial, rationalization all wrestling in the pit of my chest. "Why?" I asked, and it sounded pitiful, almost too weak for the storm inside me. She shrugged, casually, almost theatrically. "I just feel it's over. You know." Her eyes avoided mine, and that's when the first real pang of suspicion struck. Avoidance. Not embarrassment, not guilt, just a careful, deliberate distance. We talked like actors trapped in a script neither had written, rehearsing lines we thought would ease the pain. Yet my gut screamed at me, whispering truths I didn't want to hear. She had orchestrated this. Every hesitation, every sigh, every tremor of vulnerability, it wasn't real. And my heart, idiotically, wanted to believe it was. The days that followed were quieter than the storm inside me. I watched her routines, studied her phone casually left on the counter, listened to her laughter from another room, sharp and alive in a way that made my chest ache. Something in me began to unravel, thread by thread, until even rationalization felt like betrayal. It wasn't until I found the note that it all collapsed. Tucked into the back of her notebook, a list of meetings, names, dates, promises to someone else. My world imploded. The handwriting was hers, each word a shard of glass in my hand. I couldn't breathe, couldn't see straight, couldn't tell if I hated her or myself more for ignoring the signs. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She simply looked at me, calm, collected, like a director observing the scene she'd created. "I told you it was over," she said, voice eerily neutral. "I didn't know you'd take it literally." I laughed, but it was hollow, bitter, dangerous. "Literally?" I repeated. "You mean you wanted me to feel it, to make it real?" Rage and sorrow collided inside me, a tidal wave of betrayal that refused to ebb. The realization was brutal. I had been complicit. By saying perfect, I had given her the green light. I had handed her the stage, and she had performed with surgical precision. I had made the heartbreak tangible, carved it from my own hands. The next days were a blur of silence, empty apartments, and shattered routines. I watched her pack, leave, disappear into a life I hadn't been invited to. Each departure was punctuated by the sound of doors closing, a soundtrack to my unraveling. And yet, even in the pain, there was clarity. I had loved her fiercely, believed in her complexity, forgave her imperfections. But she had weaponized that love, used it to choreograph betrayal, and I had danced along without realizing it. I sit now in the same living room, the light low, listening to the hollow echo of her absence. The room smells faintly of her perfume, a cruel reminder of intimacy weaponized. I wonder if she ever felt the weight of her orchestration, the cost of turning my love into a theater of cruelty. Perhaps she did, perhaps she didn't. It no longer matters. All I know is this. Perfection can be a lie, and sometimes the greatest betrayal isn't discovery, it's participation. I said perfect, and in that instant, I made it real. And now, reality is all I have left to endure.